This is absolutely huge news for the Philadelphia Eagles, and what we're hearing about some of the reasons for it make it even a little more disturbing and concerning for 2026. First, real quick, apologies. My eyes will not stop watering. My nose will not stop running, so hopefully I can get through this video. It is that time of year. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Of course, comment below on what we're about to talk about, which is Jeff Stoutland resigning from the Philadelphia Eagles. That is right. We didn't just get rid of the offensive coordinator. Now Jeff has left, and here's where it gets concerning. Jeff Stoutland reportedly grew frustrated with his voice not being heard in the Eagles organization, per Tim McManus of ESPN, and we'll get to that in a minute. Nick Sirianni and OC Kevin Patullo began incorporating different run designs in an effort to kickstart the operation. Stoutland was not consulted about the changes to what he felt was an appropriate degree, a league source said, to the point where he no longer desired the title of run game coordinator because he felt it no longer fit his job description. That experience gave him pause about continuing on with the organization. Wow. So, a lot of people, as the season progressed and we saw the lack of a run game, the absolutely terrible blocking, the predictability of having Calcaterra out there blocking and when he's out there and where they're running and all of that. And a lot of people started thinking, hey, what degree of responsibility does Jeff Stoutland take for this? Because we've all, he's very well respected. It's been talked about what a positive impact he's had on the run game and the offensive line in general with his time in Philadelphia. Long time, well respected coach. And people started thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe he needs to own some of this responsibility too. And it looks like, with the reports we're getting and the indications are, Jeff Stoutland was not exactly on board with what the Philadelphia Eagles were doing with the run game. And he was sort of iced out, so to speak, when it came to that run game, which is not a good sign going forward. Why is it not a good sign going forward? Because the it seems like Nick Sirianni has his mitts in everything and yet takes zero responsibility for anything and doesn't have to suffer the consequences for anything. And who is that on, folks? I hate to say it, but that is on Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. And we have to start looking at them a lot more than we do because we've all been so thrilled with the way Howie has managed the salary cap, the drafting and the roster and putting that together and everything. But we've got to start digging a little deeper and start to pick apart what is going on with this team and the organization because they seem determined to completely destroy this Super Bowl window that the Eagles have had these past few years. This year was a fantastic opportunity for that roster, even with the decline in the offensive line play. Cam Jurgens not playing as well, Lane Johnson being out. Obviously, we know I mean, he's one of the best right tackles in the history of the NFL, not just the Philadelphia Eagles. So, of course, that's going to make a difference, but they still have way too much talent to have the offense perform that the way that he did. And it looks like Jeff Stoutland was not as involved as he had been in the past, and he grew frustrated with that to the point of where he is leaving the team, and that is on Nick Sirianni, the hiring of Kevin Patullo on Nick Sirianni. We had Jason Kelsey comment already. He says he put out there's absolutely no one I credit more with the career I had than Jeff Stoutland. The consistent passion and his eagerness to teach pushed my teammates, me, and our room to amazing success. More importantly, we became incredibly close as people. It was more than just coaching and teaching, it was his presence and sense of urgency that was unaccepting of mediocrity and potential left behind. He will undoubtedly be missed inside the building and everyone that played for him. I'm incredibly grateful to have played for Stout, one of one coach and person. I love you, coach. Responding to Jeff Stoutland's, I've decided my time coaching with the Eagles has come to an end. When I arrived here in 2013, I did not know what I was signing up for. I quickly learned what this city demands, but more importantly, what it gives back. The past 13 years have been the great privilege of my coaching career. I didn't just work here, I became one of you, Stout out. A couple of things I want to talk about in here. One, because a lot of people wanted to blame Jeff Stoutland, and I don't know, maybe there were issues. And look, no matter how great a coach is, you have to have a certain level of talent, right? I mean, a great coach can only bring out the talent a player has and maximize it. If the talent isn't enough, that's going to be a problem. And again, Lane Johnson missing was a problem. Cam Jurgens not being Cam Jurgens was a problem. But a couple of things here is 13 years. What is the one thing over that time period that we've always talked about with the Philadelphia Eagles that was their strength? The offensive line, and a little bit, to a lesser degree, the defensive line, right? That's why the Eagles have been competitive, is that focus on dominating the line of scrimmage. Jeff Stoutland has been a part of that the entire way. And you listen to what Jason Kelsey was just saying. Does this sound like a guy you want to leave? What was done with regard to the coaching staff that you force someone like this out? I want to go back to that for a second before I dig into that a little more because I thought this was kind of cool. I think this speaks to Philly a lot and why it takes a special mindset, right? A special type of player to thrive in Philadelphia. And that's true of coaches too. I quickly learned what this city demands 100%. One of maybe the most demanding sports city in the U.S., maybe the world. Although some of the European football clubs have quite crazy fan bases as well. He says, but more importantly, what it gives back. I think that says it all about the Philadelphia fan base and what we both demand of our teams, but also how we go out of our way to support teams that maybe I shouldn't say maybe that other fan bases absolutely do not do. So let's talk about this a little bit. Here's a couple of things that I think is important to point out. Uh, he was offered a role on the Eagles staff under new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion, and he declined that offer. And here's the most important thing, right? We've had more coaches over this time period. A lot of times, new coaches means new staff, and yet Stoutland has been here since 2013. The Eagles kept him on staff through multiple head coaching changes and were rewarded for it. Under Stoutland's watch, the offensive line served as the foundation. That's what I was saying for a franchise that averaged 10 wins per season during his tenure, a run that included two titles and three Super Bowl appearances. Title of run game coordinator was added in 2018. In 2024, of course, we know what he did with Saquon Barkley and the offensive line and combining those two. And it kind of goes on to talk about the injuries and so forth. And it says, with the offense stagnant, head coach Nick Sirianni took on a more active role over the latter part of the season. He and then offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo began incorporating different run designs in an effort to kickstart the operation. Stoutland not consulted about the changes to what he felt was an appropriate degree, a league source said. And look, if he's the run game coordinator, absolutely, that is something that he should be consulted on, right? That is his job. And it says Torrey no longer desired the title of run game coordinator because he felt it no longer fit his job experience description. That experience gave him pause about continuing on with the organization. This does not sound like the class of the NFL as we've been talking about with the Eagles organization the last few years. This sounds like the opposite of that. This sounds like an organization that is in disarray. This sounds like the frickin' Jerry Jones led Dallas Cowboys, which is absolutely wild. Um, so yeah, I mean this is shocking. I don't know what this is going to mean for the Eagles going forward, but this is not a good look for the Philadelphia Eagles organization. It's not a good look for Howie. It's certainly not a good look for Nick, although apparently he seems to be Teflon at this point. I don't know what it's going to take to change that, but something is going to have to change with the way things are being run with the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking this out. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you later.